In a quiet village, surrounded by tall mountains and flowing rivers, lived a young man named Ravi. From the moment Ravi was a child, people praised him for his intelligence and talent. He was a fast learner, a hard worker, and he dreamed of making something great of his life. But as Ravi grew older, he noticed something that troubled him deeply. No matter how hard he worked, no matter how brilliant his ideas were, people often ignored him. In meetings at work, his suggestions were brushed aside. Among friends, his words were drowned out by louder voices. Even at home, his family rarely paid attention when he spoke. Frustration grew inside Ravi like a burning fire. He began to speak more forcefully, trying to push his opinions forward. He raised his voice in arguments, interrupted conversations, and explained himself over and over just to be heard. But the harder he tried, the more people pulled away from him. His friends became distant, his co-workers avoided discussions with him, and his own family began to fall silent around him. One evening, exhausted and heartbroken, Ravi sat under the shade of a large banyan tree at the edge of the village. His heart was heavy, his mind noisy with questions. Why? Why do I get ignored when I work so hard and try so much? What am I doing wrong? Just then, an old man known as Guruji happened to walk by. Guruji had watched Ravi grow up, and though he was a man of few words, everyone in the village respected him deeply. Seeing Ravi's troubled face, Guruji sat beside him quietly. After a long pause, Guruji asked gently, "What troubles your heart, my child?" With eyes filled with frustration, Ravi poured his heart out. "I try so hard, Guruji. I give everything I have, but no one listens. No one cares. The louder I speak, the less they seem to hear me. Why is life so unfair?" Guruji listened calmly, then smiled softly. "Come," he said, motioning Ravi to follow. They walked silently through the fields until they reached a small, peaceful lake. The moonlight shimmered on its still surface, and the night air was cool and calm. Guruji pointed to the lake and asked, "What do you see?" Ravi looked and replied, "I see myself, my reflection." Without a word, Guruji bent down, picked up a small stone, and dropped it into the water. Ripples spread across the surface, and Ravi's reflection broke into 1,000 trembling lines. Guruji asked again, "And now, what do you see?" "My reflection is gone," Ravi answered softly. Guruji looked into Ravi's eyes and said, "This lake is like your heart and mind. When it is calm, it reflects clearly. But when disturbed, it loses its clarity. Ravi, when you fill your life with noise, when you argue, shout, and struggle to prove yourself, you stir the waters of your heart. You lose the very strength you are trying to show." Ravi swallowed hard. His chest tightened as the meaning began to sink in. "But Guruji," he whispered, "if I stay silent, won't people walk over me? Won't I be forgotten?" Guruji smiled kindly. "Look at the sun, Ravi. It rises every morning without a sound, yet it lights the whole world. Look at the trees. They grow quietly, yet they give shade, fruit, and life. True strength does not shout. True strength stands in silence, sure of its own roots." A lump rose in Ravi's throat. His eyes stung with tears. He realized he had been chasing something outside of himself: approval, applause, recognition, without tending to his own stillness, his own quiet power. That night, Ravi walked home under the stars, his heart strangely light, and slowly he began to change. He started listening more. He let others finish before speaking. He chose his words carefully, without rushing to prove himself. When tempted to argue, He paused. When frustrated, he breathed. At first, people were surprised, but over time, something incredible happened. His friends began to trust his quiet presence. His co-workers started seeking his advice. His family began opening their hearts to him. Ravi discovered that when he stopped trying to impress, his true worth began to shine on its own. In the months that followed, Ravi found more peace, deeper connections, and quiet success than he had ever known. He learned that silence was not emptiness, but the space where understanding grew. That real power was not in forcing attention, but in becoming someone worth listening to, without needing to demand it. Ravi stood once again at the edge of the lake, months later. This time, as he looked into the still water, he saw not just his reflection, but his transformation. In the quiet, he had found everything he once thought only noise could bring. He realized that strength is not measured by how loud your voice is, but by how steady your heart stays when the world tests you. He understood that you don't have to prove yourself to everyone. You only have to become the kind of person whose presence speaks louder than words. Because sometimes when you are silent, the whole world leans in to hear you. So remember this: when people doubt you, stay calm. When the world overlooks you, stay patient. When life gets noisy, stay centered. The strongest roots grow in silence. The brightest stars shine without a sound. And the most powerful hearts lead not by shouting, but by showing. Be silent, be steady, be unstoppable. And one day, you'll realize you didn't have to chase success. It was quietly walking toward you all along.